Good morning, students. Welcome back. This is your sociology class. Students, today again we will revise our second unit chapter, that is Introducing Western Sociologist. From the chapter, today I am going to discuss about Emile Durkheim's solidarity. Solidarity are mainly two types, that is mechanical solidarity and organic solidarity. Actually, in the theory of the French social scientist Emile Durkheim, 1858 and 1970, the social cohesiveness of small, undifferentiated societies, that is known as mechanical, and of societies differentiated by relatively complex division of labor, that is known as organic. So, what I said, the social cohesiveness of small, undifferentiated societies, that is mechanical, and of societies differentiated by a relatively complex division of labor, that is known as organic solidarity. Mechanical solidarity is the social integration of members of a society who have common values and beliefs. These common values and beliefs constitute a collective conscience that works internally in individual members to cause them to cooperate. Why? Because in Durkheim's view, the forces causing members of society to cooperate were much like the internal energies causing the molecules to coherent in a solid. He drew upon the terminology of physical science in coining the term mechanical solidarity. In contrast to mechanical solidarity, organic solidarity is social integration that arises out of the need of individuals for one another service. In a society characterized by organic solidarity, there is relatively greater division of labor, with individuals functioning much like the interdependent but differentiated organs of a living body. Society relies less on imposing uniform rules on everyone and more on regulating the relations between different groups and persons, often through the greater use of contracts and the laws. Why? Nowadays, we are dependent on more division of labor. But in the primitive time or in the ancient period, one work, whole family member or whole group is doing the same work. So as a result, the productivity is low. Yes, of course, they have a strong collective conscience. Nowadays, people are doing the work only. People are very professionals and extreme division of labor, that is organic society. Understood? In a society that exhibits mechanical solidarity, its cohesion and integration comes from the homogeneity of individuals. People feel connected through similar work. Educational and religious training and lifestyle. Mechanical solidarity normally operates in, I already told that, in traditional and small scale societies like the tribes. In these simpler societies, solidarity is usually based on kinship ties of familial networks. Suppose one particular work, suppose for example, home based, agro based industry like BD industry. Okay, all the family member, including the children and the aged peoples, they are doing the same similar work. So mechanical solidarity are exist in traditional and small scale societies, and the solidarity is usually based on kinship ties of familial network. On the other hand, organic solidarity is a social cohesion based upon the interdependence that arise between people from the specializations of work. Because in the primitive time or in the ancient period, people don't have as much qualification like nowadays. Nowadays, the workers have their specialized skill. So, people from the specialization of work and as a result, more advanced, modern, and industrial societies. Although individuals perform different tasks and often have different values and interests, the order vary from society to society, and it depends on their reliance on each other to perform their specified task. Thus, social solidarity is maintained in more complex societies through the interdependence of its component parts. Farmers, for example, produce the food that feed the factory workers, who produce the tractors that allow the farmer to produce the food. Understood? Another thing I want to discuss also, that is the mechanical solidarity based on resemblance predominant in less advanced societies. You have to remember that thing. Excuse me. Organic solidarity based on division of labor, predominantly more advanced societies. Second things, segmental type, initially based on clan, later territorial. It exists in mechanical solidarity. And organized type of market and the growth of cities all are included in organic solidarity. In the mechanical solidarity, we have seen that the little interdependence, social bonds, relatively weak. And in the organic solidarity, much interdependency, social bonds, relatively strong. Organic solidarity, relatively low volume of population, small scale. Organic solidarity, relatively high volume of population. First one is the mechanical solidarity, relatively low volume of population, and organic solidarity, relatively high volume of population. Mechanical solidarity, you can say that it's also low material and moral density. And organic solidarity is a relatively high material and moral density. In the mechanical solidarity, rules with repressive sanctions. And organic solidarity, rules with restitutive sanctions. Organic solidarity means high volume. Mechanical solidarity means high volume, high intensity, high collective authority, and high, strong collective conscience. On the other hand, the organic solidarity, low volume, low intensity, greater room for individual initiative and reflections. So students, I hope you understood the differentiation between the mechanical solidarity and the organic solidarity. Many questions I got from the Zoom class that the students are not able to understand the differentiation between the mechanical solidarity and the organic solidarity. Actually, students, you have to remember that things that it's a theory written by Emile Durkheim in his Division of Labor. Okay, division of labor. Now we have seen or we got the concept mechanical solidarity and the organic solidarity from the division of labor. So that's why you have to remember very simple things, that is mechanical solidarity means the small scale, primitive, ancient period, there was no division of labor. And on the other hand, organic solidarity means nowadays the people are dependent on the extreme divisions of labor. They are not bothered about the collective conscience and the interdependency. So that's why in the theory division of labor, Durkheim argued that the social solidarity takes different forms in different historical periods and varies in strength among groups in the same society. However, reflecting the popularity of social evolutionary thought in the late 19th century, Durkheim summarized all historical forms of solidarity into a traditional modern dichotomy. Mechanical solidarity is a simple pre-industrial form of social cohesion, very less division of labor, and organic solidarity is a more complex forms of modern society, a huge division of labor. Peoples are only concentrate on their work. Okay. Now I want to discuss questions. It is also related to the solidarity. The question is, show with examples how moral codes are indicators of social solidarity. And the question is, show with examples how moral codes are indicators of social solidarity. So students, what you have to write in the answer? According to Durkheim, you just listen carefully. After that, please try to write the answer from yourself. According to Durkheim, moral codes are indicators of social solidarity because society existed as a moral community above the individuals. Moral codes were codes of conduct that were collectively agreed upon. They reflected the prevailing social conditions and were manifested in the practices in everyday life. The ties that the individual were bonded with were important for the society. The ties that the individuals were bonded with were important for society, it's okay, and these exerted a pressure on people to confirm that the norms and the values of the society are not violated by any person or by any means. Therefore, the individual's behavior was limited and predictable, which made it easy to understand the social solidarity which governed them. For example, caste system. in India is a moral code that is reflected of social solidarity among various groups belonging the same caste. Okay, understood? In this way you have to write the answer. Okay. So students, from the today's discussions, uh, what we have learned, I am repeating it once again. In the division of labor theory, Emile Durkheim outlined two theories to explain how social order and solidarity are established and maintained. So you have to remember all these things. Actually, solidarity describes connections between individuals that allows them to form a cohesive social unit. What I said? Solidarity describes connection between individuals that allows them to form a cohesive social unit. Durkheim argued solidarity is significant because it is a necessary component of a functioning civilization and a necessary component of a fulfilling human life. Durkheim also described two forms of solidarity. One is the mechanical solidarity and another one is the organic solidarity. And both are dependent on the smaller and the larger societies. Mechanical solidarity refers to the connection, cohesion and integration born from the homogeneity or similar work, education and the lifestyle. Organic solidarity is born from the interdependence of individuals in more advanced society, particularly professional dependence. In the organic solidarity, we have seen a very strong or a huge division of labor. So can I ask one question to all of you? That is, what do you mean by solidarity? I have already said. Yes, solidarity actually it is the integration and degree and type of integration shown by a society or group with people and their neighbors. That is known as solidarity. And what do you mean by collective conscience? A conscience for Durkheim is suppose it's an organ of sentiments and representations. It is not the rational organ that the term consciousness would imply. So understood, students? Most of the times we face the questions, that is, what do you mean by the difference between the organic solidarity and the mechanical solidarity? Now I am showing you the differences, main differences of the organic solidarity and the mechanical solidarity. Mechanical solidarity and organic solidarity, the main differences. Mechanical solidarity small and undifferentiated society. What I have written? Small and undifferentiated society. It's the first number one differences. Second is affects everyone. Affects everyone means it's affect everyone in the society. Next, people are deeply about collective conscience. I already told that in the mechanical solidarity there is a very strong collective conscience. Now next one, collective conscience are quite rigid. Associated with religion. Mechanical solidarity also depended on religion. On the other hand, students, organic solidarity. Organic solidarity, first differentiation, large and differentiated society. First one we have seen that the small and organic solidarity large and differentiated society. Fewer people are affected. Far more flexible and adaptable. Less associated with religion. So students, today this much only. Next class I will discuss or we will revise any other points from our chapter introducing Western society sociology. Thank you everyone.